For this month's cultural update, we're looking at events happening in central Indiana between now, of course, depends on, right now is the middle of August-ish, but you might be listening in 3 weeks from now, who knows, or a year from now, in which case it's all in hindsight. Get in your time machine and come back to central Indiana, because these things are happening between now and September 15th, 2019. First of all, over at the Indiana State Museum, Amazed, The Puzzling World of Dave Phillips is an exhibit about mazes, which is a very cool thing. Phillips is a maze designer whose work has appeared in Highlights, Reader's Digest, Scientific American, and other publications. An exhibit based on mazes happening at the Indiana State Museum. Opening September 4th at the Indiana Repertory Theater, 12 Angry Men. You can find 12 Angry Men just about anywhere in the world, but these will be 12 specific Angry Men in that classic play about sequestered jurors and one standout. Down at the, we love the Aristocrat Theater down in Franklin. How many of you have been there? It's radio. Don't raise your hand. Make noise. The Aristocrat, they've raised their hand. The Aristocrat Theater is a wonderful single-screen movie theater in the heart of Franklin, Indiana. Go down if you get a chance. They show classic movies. The popcorn is wonderful. There's all kinds of pre-show, what's that? Real butter? I believe so, yes. And all kinds of pre-show stuff. You know, they show a cartoon beforehand. They find out who's traveled the farthest. Local people do skits. It's great. September 5th and 6th, they're showing The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Very cool, the great Humphrey Bogart film. Also heading south of Indianapolis, Brown County Music Center is opening in Nashville, Indiana. We've been hearing about this and hoping for this for years. A new music center in Nashville, Indiana. Vince Gill's going to be there August 24th. Art Garfunkel, September 12th. They have a packed schedule of folks coming to the Brown County Music Center. At Garfield Park Arts Center on the south side, Spectrum 2 is an exhibition opening September 6th through the 28th. It's work from LGBTQ plus artists from Indianapolis. On the north side at the Studio Theater at the Center for the Performing Arts, Actors Theater of Indiana is kicking off their season with the musical Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Very fun musical being done there. I won't tell you the ending, it's a surprise. In Broad Ripple, theater is back in Broad Ripple, ladies and gentlemen. Storefront Theater of Indianapolis has opened a new space. They're doing a play called Pilgrims, which is, it involves a spaceship populated by a soldier, a teen girl, and an outdated robot. Check out what happens in the play Pilgrims at Storefront Theater in September. The Penrod Art Fair is September 7th. With all kinds of arts groups performing. It is a very large art fair, but it's also stages with performers from many, many different Indianapolis performing arts groups performing throughout the day. Also, while we are recording next month's podcast, Indie Jazz Festival will be going on. Headliners include Arturo Sandoval, guitarist Bill Frisell, all kinds of folks. Locations all around the city, including the 12-band Indie Jazz Fest block party, which is always a highlight of the music season here. The Phoenix Theater is opening their season with Matthew Lopez's play The Legend of Georgia McBride, opening September 12th. It concerns a broke, soon-to-be father who loses his job as an Elvis impersonator and gets the My Fair Lady treatment when the bar that employed him opts for a drag show instead. A popular show at regional theaters around the country. Check out The Legend of Georgia McBride. September 14th, the day before we tape the next episode, over at Butler University, the Dive Dapper Poetry Carnival is going on. Have you ever been to a poetry carnival? No, some of you have. Very good. Probably that one, right? Because there aren't many anywhere else. It's a literary magazine come to life. It's a workshop. It's a picnic. It's a reading. It's all kinds of stuff at Butler University. Comedian Nikki Glazer is coming to Helium Comedy Club September 12th and 14th. Very funny woman. If you've ever seen Inside Amy Schumer or Netflix The Stand-Ups, you know her. And Indianapolis Symphony's opening night gala is September 14th. So the Indianapolis Symphony season will be kicking off. Not that they take a long break. Also, the Indie Fringe Festival will be going on, and I know two of our guests are involved in that. Tell us about your connection to the Indie Fringe.
Well, I am a performer. This will be my 7th Indie Fringe as a performer this year. So I'm in the Cookie Dough show, so it's a variety show, and they have several 10-minute plays, and then I'm doing a thing with a tiny piano, and then for 2 nights you'll have to
do you happen to have a tiny piano with you?
I do.
Can we hear a little bit on the tiny piano?
Sure.
I'm sure you weren't expecting that, but there we go. I'll move that out of the way.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Let's hear a little tiny piano show. While she gets set up, Tom, tell us about your connection to Indie Fringe.
Well, it's 15 years old this year, so 16 or 17 years ago, Brian Payne was doing a thing at the Arts, what is it called?
The Arts Center?
The Arts Center, and a bunch of Butler students got up and said there's no reason for them to stay in Indianapolis. They're all just going to leave here, and he asked people in the audience to come up with ideas on what might keep them here. And so they came up with the idea of a fringe festival. And so Sherry and I were there, and so we kind of got involved in a little way in that we took the 2 people. It was Melly Hoppy and Kathleen Robbins.
Right.
And they were looking, he gave them some money to go to other fringe festivals and come back and report back to him, which they did. And so they decided that they needed to find a place to actually hold it. And of course, I was on Mass Avenue already, and I said, we're going to do it on Mass Avenue. There's all these theaters. They're closed during August. We can do it here. And so I got on a committee to help set all that up. And unfortunately, the first meeting they had, I was out on the road with another show, and they voted me the president. So for 5 years, I was the president of that, and I've helped him ever since, and always will. It's it's a great thing. It's another event that gives opportunity, to young people and old people. There are old people that do these shows too. So it's just like a really cool thing that and I was disappointed that we, only get 3,000 people or something there, or we don't get enough people to actually go to these shows. And, the performers get 80% of the money and 20% goes to actually putting on the festival. So
it's a $15 ticket for each show. There are ways to bundle those. There are theaters all up and down Mass Avenue, including the show that Paige is involved in. And we have a mini. If you're listening at home, there is a tiny blue piano on the table right now, and on the back it says "Learn to play piano."
It's a Melissa and Doug learn to play. Yeah, this actually belongs to Jason Adams' little girl, and I just borrowed it because my friends are innovative and let me do weird things with their children's toys. Sorry.
Play school piano page.
What? Huh? No.
Technically, it's not quite a play school brand. No, it is not.
Do you babysit?
No.
Just wondering.
Soon you'll find out why.
The kid and just play with their toys.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Right. What I want you've got, and it might be hard to handle. Like the flame that burns the candle, the kind that feeds the flame. Yeah, what I got will stop, and thoughts and dreams may scatter. Then you put them all together, and how can explain? Oh yeah, well, you make my dreams come true. Well, you make my dreams come true. Well, listen to this. Yeah! Oh, weird chord. I've done all my daydreams. All that sleepwalk should be over by now, you know. 'Cause you make my dreams come true. Well, you make my dreams come true.
Paige Scott, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone
I will
else.
not babysit your kids.
Will you be appearing? Will you be appearing at the Chatterbox soon?
There we go. I think we got a gig. There we go. We got a gig out of it. Beautiful. That's exactly what you weren't expecting to hear tonight, isn't it? All right. Anyone else have Dance Kaleidoscope is going to be at Indie Fringe. And the ballet school. And the Indianapolis Ballet is going to be at Indie Fringe.
And Billie Holiday, Lady Lives.
Oh, Lady Lives, another show at Fringe. We have a whole Fringe table going on over here. Anyone else have an event coming up? Very good. Okay, that's it for your cultural update. And get out and see live stuff because it makes life better. Thank you. All right. We will regroup from that. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.